Yeah, that's not supposed to be like that. We had a particularly powerful storm collapse over top of the facility yesterday evening, and it caused some pretty extensive damage all around the facility. So let's go take a look at some of that stuff. So before we get too deep into showing you around, not sure how, but all of the animals seem to be okay, so miraculously, and thank goodness for that. A lot of our trees, though, are not okay. This here and there. We put the all call out to supporters, volunteers, friends of the facility, and we've been getting a bunch of help, a bunch of people showing up to help us out today. Had a bunch of people out last night doing some of the initial, immediate, oh my goodness, we have to kind of take care of this now type stuff. Super thankful for the quick response of our staff members, Jessica Ortiz and Nicole Cook. They were actually here on site when the storm happened. That's a roof that belongs to this section, and for those of you unfamiliar with the facility, this is not supposed to be here, just so you're keeping track. Some of the sections, we have a little bit of damage up here, but nothing, it's not crazy. But we also just, Ruby's blocked away from this section. So that was a big thing that Nicole and Jessica did, is they quick did an assessment of the facility. Figured out who's where, who's needs assistance, who's okay. Everyone's okay, but then, yeah, again, this is all, there from there to there was supposed to be a roof, and we have a number of different electrical wiring and lighting systems and stuff like that, plugins that are all kaputski. Got Louie and Juno. They are sequestered in this little section right here. So I had a section of the roof go over here, damaged the top of Will's enclosure. So Will, being a mountain lion, they're much more nimble and agile. They can do vertical stuff. So he's locked into the special care unit over there, which thank goodness he went in, because normally he doesn't always go into that special care unit. So when the storm happened, I think it kind of scared him, and luckily he did go in there. And again, Nicole and Jessica, they were able to get him secured. Luca and Jake, another section of that roof, went over there and smashed into that corner, actually damaged the top. So you can see, here's another section. So the incline sections of these enclosures, some of the welding spots have snapped. So there's a lot of, we have to repair and inspect and keep certain residents sequestered you know, until we can do all the fixes and then deem the space appropriate for them to re-enter. But then it's like there's stuff all over the place. Oh, we haven't even gotten to the juicy bits yet. Trust. Haven't gotten to the juicy bits yet. So our efforts are widespread and diffused. All of the stuff. So we were pulling things out of the enclosure last night. So yeah, you can see the sections up there. One of the big things we're actually very concerned about, and I mean, they're older geriatric animals, but you can't put it past them to, you know, like see, you know, integrity compromises of enclosure spaces and then try to test them out. They're still tigers after all. But then they could try to test it out, and then them being old men, they could hurt themselves. Not to mention, these things are very precariously held up because so much of the welding snapped, so we're worried that a lot of that's gonna fall down, so that's another reason why they can't be in here. And then these fences. Yeah. And, yeah, that's not supposed to be there. Hi. Hi, yeah, I know things are a little bit askew, aren't they? Things are a little off kilter. Thank you very much. Okay. There's our guy. That's Will. He's deaf and pretty special needs. He's got a lot of neurological issues, possibly a combination of genetic things and improper diet and suspected physical abuse prior to his arrival here. Oh, for any people that are new, this facility is the Center for Animal Research and Education. We're a nonprofit exotic animal rescue facility. We're located in Bridgeport, Texas. And yeah, we had some storms. I highly suspect, based on what I was looking at on the radar, what I was seeing in some of the videos that people had that they were taking on site. Nicole was taking videos. Highly suspect that it was a straight line wind event. Some people are saying like it might have been a tornado. Don't think it was a tornado. I think it was just an extremely powerful thunderstorm with a lot of liquid water being held aloft that collapsed just right above us. And then when you're talking about gargantuan physical forces all coming down at the same time, it can cause, yeah. In a former life, I actually was a meteorologist, aviation meteorologist in the Air Force, so I do sometimes geek out on weather things. Well, it's good to know that the circumstances haven't broken your spirit and that some things are still able to return to normal. Good to know, Munch. Good to know. When this happened yesterday, I was driving to the airport to pick up my wife, Heidi, who's also the founder and executive director of the facility, the reason that this whole place exists. She was going to a wedding, or coming back from a wedding. In Philadelphia. And geez, look at that. And this was about maybe like 20-30 minutes. So I left, everything looked normal. Oh, and that stinks because I mean, you know, we had cleaned up the facility and gotten all the enclosures looking real nice. Had some good volunteer days where we were cleaning up poop and bones, and I was thinking like, oh, when my wife gets back, the facility is gonna be all sparkly and nice and shiny. And I left. Nicole starts sending me videos, because I did text him like, hey, it looks like there's some thunderstorms on the radar. You might not want to get caught in it. Oh boy. A little bit over there. We got a tree that's laying on its side on top of this space. We've got some spotted Asian leopard cats that live in here, but they're locked up in that building over there because, again, it's one of those kind of things where it's like we have certain priorities that we have to focus on, and it's like, okay, lock them in, and then like we'll deal with this later. You can stay locked in there for a little bit. We got to make sure that the big guys, our nuclear bomb cats, that their spaces are appropriate and secure, and then we'll get to you when we can. This whole enclosure, fine. All the roofing, fine. We're seeing a trend that a lot of the stuff that's been built in like the last 5 to 7 years by our welder / tradesman / jack of all trades guy Calvin. The stuff that's built by Calvin is fine. Some of our older infrastructure that wasn't built by Calvin, not always fine. This is a bummer. Don't know if this one's gonna, of course we're gonna have to take that. Don't know if the rest of it's gonna make it. Of course, like last night, Heidi and I were having to go around and check perimeters because, heaven forbid, if there was like an enclosure that was compromised, then that gives access to, them being kind of tooling around in these areas, then you still have like a secondary perimeter that can contain them. So it's multiple layers of security. And there's this, which this is a problem, because we got these guys, and they're lions, and they have opinions, and they don't always like to listen, and they're kind of they're in just a mood right now. So of course, eventually, it's almost like if we just kind of leave them alone, they're not going to really kind of mess around, but eventually we're going to have to get them locked up because we have to take care of this tree that fell over, again, thank goodness all of our animals, I have no idea how, but all of our animals are okay, seemingly. But there still is a great tragedy in the amount of trees that we lost. It's hard enough to grow trees in some parts of Texas. And yeah, bummer is an understatement. But the fact that this is down and it's leaning up on the side of a fence, and we spent a long time inspecting this whole area, and then this thing is leaning. But luckily these guys are kind of just distracted, kind of fatzos. So they didn't seem too interested in trying to make their way up. Yeah, this thing is bending this way. Oh, it just makes you sick. That thing there. Our llama's fine. She was out in it. She's fine. Ugh. And then there's this tree. This tree it's got cracking down at the bottom, and it's like leaned over this way, and it's resting on that thing. Which this is a little shed that, why it didn't just literally blow up, I have no clue. Again, another thing built by Calvin. Calvin built that. So, had some fencing down, you know. So yeah, I'm hoping and praying that maybe this thing can be saved. One of our long-term volunteers, JD, he's an arborist. So he actually is a tree expert. I really hope we can save this one, but you know, not gonna hold my breath. Oh yeah, that's destroyed. Our lemur enclosure. They're in there. They're locked up. They were out here in the aftermath. I think that they were hunkered down inside when the actual storm was happening, and then this all was happening. But when it was over, they were just like, I don't know. This is not right. Again, it was, you know, able to get them locked up, and none of them, because they're little, not like them. I only have the one hand. They're little and they're fragile, but they made it through. How? No clue. And then that thing, that's not even held down by anything. It's made of aluminum. Why did that stay? How? I'm not saying okay. So we have a pump for our well system in there. So air pump that, you know, for those that, if you don't know, it shoots air down into the groundwater, which then can bring water up to the surface. We've got another pump here, and it seems like those two are okay. This enclosure's good. Calvin did that one too. So of course we've got our folks and staff. I mean, like, we still have to go and do daily rounds. We still have to make sure that morning medications are given and water, and certain animals have to eat certain times. And, you know, in that regard, the show must go on. We have two separate lemur sections. So there was a group over here and a group over here. Which one do you think Calvin built? Which section do you think Calvin built? This is Momo. Nicole suspects that Momo actually was doing a full-blown Lieutenant Dan out here because she was just soaked to the bone. I don't know, just sitting on top of the crow's nest and just screaming at the clouds. She's a wild one. Our barn is fine. I'll give you one guess as to who built it. This over here, another one of our well pumps. That is not fine. So because this thing is tore up and all of our wells are connected together, and that's the water that feeds the rest of the compound, we have to have all the water shut off until we can do like a full assessment of, you know, what systems we can kind of segregate in order to get the rest of the system at least kind of limping along. Because you can have this kind of shut off, and then have certain valves kind of shut off, and the other two can help to provide the pressure that's needed. Because as of right now, we have water supplies, but it's just like 5-gallon jugs. So we're literally, we have people that have to then load a bunch of 5-gallon purified water bottle jugs into the back of our work vehicles and just drive around and fill up buckets and make sure the animals. So like I'm not worried about the animals not having water to drink, but showers, toilets, those things are nice. Not to and yes, being able to like have hoses that you can carry around like in a normal operational kind of scenario, that's great. We like that. Also, when the temperature gets up, we fill pools in the enclosure for dipping water, stock water for the tigers. It does help to keep them happy, keep them healthy. So yeah. So we're gonna be busy little bees for a while. But we're truly thankful that no people got hurt, that no animals got hurt. Still, I don't know how, but now we're very thankful and very moved at the response and all of the people that have been coming out to help right now. But we still definitely are going to need more help. We have some electricians that are already here. We're definitely going to need some plumbing folks and welding folks, and yeah. So definitely need more eyeballs, more support, more assistance if people are capable of providing it. You can go to our website, carerescuetexas.com, or as I like to call it, carerescuetexas.com. And yeah, that's all I got. I should probably go and start helping with the cleanup. All right, thanks for watching.